What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Toya Cherie, and I am back with another video. Now, from the title, you can clearly know what this video was about. Yes, yes, and yes, I am pregnant. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I was completely shocked about this, but it's definitely a blessing in disguise. So I'm definitely excited as well. But I'm just here to give you a little story, not a story, but let you know about my weeks 4 and 5, because you know I haven't let anyone know right now. But by the time you guys watch this video, I think I would have let everybody know by now. So currently I am 10 weeks pregnant, I'm 10 weeks pregnant, but I'm about to be 11 weeks. But it's just been a crazy few weeks since I found out. So I'm going to catch you guys up on that and give you all the details and the scares about my last 4 or 5 weeks. Okay. So I found out, and this is my stick. Okay. If I can see it. Oh no. But anyways, I found out, and the line was pretty prominent. So I was like, oh my God, I could already tell that something was going on. I had broken out on my skin, which I normally don't. And I was like, that's weird. And I just had a feeling of something was not right. So I knew the day of my period I was going to test because I was going to wait and see if it came that day, but it never came. So at the next morning, I said, I'm going to go ahead and just take it. And lo and behold, I got the pregnancy positive. So I was like, man, I kind of knew it, you know. But anyways, but it's been a really crazy few weeks. So I found out at 4 weeks, and my symptoms at 4 weeks were, I was just really bloated. It was like, ugh. You know, I wasn't really nauseous, which is weird because this is going to be my second child. And my first pregnancy, I was sick as a dog. You hear me? Like, could not eat anything. So this one was kind of a surprise where I could actually eat. So I was like, okay, I didn't have crazy nauseous feelings, but I had that bloating feeling, like bloating, like gas, like I was feeling full. I could barely eat because I always felt full. So it was like an icky feeling, and I still kind of have that a little bit to this day, but not as bad as it was when it first started. So that was week 4, and I was like, okay, you know, whatever. Then came week 5. Week 5 is when it all went upside down. I was like, what is going on? So week 5 came in like a hurricane. Okay. I was like, what is, okay. So anyways, week 5 starts my spotting, and I'm like, what is going on? But okay, I'm like, well, maybe it's just, you know, implantation bleeding, as they always say. Oh, it's just implantation bleeding. Your uterus is growing and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. You know, I did have spotting with my first pregnancy, but it was one day and then never saw it again. You know, this time it kept coming. I'm spotting. Like almost every day I'm spotting. And it just was weird. And I'm kind of like, what is going on? And it scared me. So one day I was having cramps, and it was really hurting. And then I checked, and I was spotting too. And it was like pinkish. So I don't know, with the 2, it kind of got me all shook up and worried. So I'm like, oh my God, am I having a miscarriage? I don't know what's going on. Like, this never happened to me before. I've never had these type of symptoms. So I got really scared, and then I went to the urgent care. Of course, urgent care, because I didn't want to go to the emergency room. I was like, let me just go to the urgent care. But I went to the urgent care. All they did was make sure I was pregnant, and then they sent me to the ER. So I was like, well, there you go. So I'm at the ER, and they pretty much do a pap smear, or, you know, they're looking all down in, you know, in my stuff and my goodies. And she was like, oh, yeah, I do see what you're talking about. There is some blood. And when I was looking at her, I'm sorry, y'all, TMI, but it is what it is. I was looking at her tray when she was swabbing. Her little swabs were freaking bright red. And I was like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, I see what you were talking about. Like, there is blood and, you know, I mean, it wasn't heavy, like heavy, but it was enough for me to be concerned. And she was like, well, you know, you made a good decision in coming in. And I was like, good, because I didn't want to look crazy coming in. And they're like, oh, you know, nothing's really wrong with her. But so it kind of scared me. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. You know, they're like, well, you know, it still could just be implantation bleeding. This is still common. A lot of women spot. And I was like, yeah, but it just made me feel uneasy. So that's why I was there. So I made sure that they also, when they did blood work, that they tested my Hcg levels. I was like, please, can you check my Hcg levels? And they were like, okay. So when they came back, I'm like, what are my levels? And she was like, oh, you're fine. You're, you know, I think she said I was like 8,400, which is, I guess, normal range for the weeks that I was, which was around 5 weeks. And so I was like, okay, well, that made me feel a little better. Like, they weren't dropping. They were still in the normal range. So I was like, okay. Then they did a transvaginal sonogram. And they, you know, were looking around to see if there was anything in there. Of course, they saw the sac and the, you know, it was really little. They can barely, you know, see if it was like going to be viable. They don't know. But they said this is where I should be around these weeks. So I was like, okay, well, I'm like, well, you know, so they really pretty much couldn't find anything wrong with me. But, you know, it's just now psychologically and mentally, I'm just nervous and on edge. So they said everything looked fine and going as, you know, planned, and to follow up within 2 weeks to get another sonogram or ultrasound to check to make sure that the baby was growing properly. So I was like, okay, so did that. And I left, you know, but that was week 5, and it was like really hectic and really scared. So, and again, I had the same symptoms with week 5. I was just like bloated, and I had a little bit of nauseousness at this point, but it wasn't like I couldn't eat or anything, but, you know, just had that little nauseous feeling like, you know, so I was kind of like eating a little bit of stuff because I got full quick because it was like I was bloated. And, you know, that's just the worst feeling ever. I don't know if you guys felt that feeling, but let me know in the comments below, okay? And let me know what your symptoms were at 5 weeks, if you remember. So that was that. And so that was weeks 4 and 5. I was pretty much like, you know, after that. Now, week 6, honey. Week 6 started off just as bad. Here I go again. I'm spotting again. And it's brown and it's pink. And I'm like, why? I'm having to wear a pad. And I'm like, shouldn't be doing this. Like, I was so upset. I'm still wearing pads and panty liners. And I don't want to do that, you know. So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe it's, I mean, I don't know. This pregnancy was just all different from the first. And I know every pregnancy is different. So I just don't want anything going wrong, but of course you can't control anything. So I'm spotting again, I'm cramping, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I don't know if you guys had spotting, but I had it for a while, and actually currently I still spot, and we'll get to that. We gonna get to that, okay? So, long story short, yeah, my 4, 5, and 6 weeks. 6 weeks, again, I was spotting as well. I was nervous every time I see any type of red or pinkish or brown. I'm like, ugh. But of course, I'm reading and I'm Googling. You're not supposed to. And I'm like, oh my God, I might be threatening my miscarriage. Oh, and let me tell you that when I went to the ER the first time, she did check my cervix to see if it was open, and it wasn't. So she was like, well, your cervix is closed. So, you know, everything looks like it's fine. Your levels are okay. And, you know, when they saw the sonogram, it looked fine. So I was like, okay. But so week 6, you know, I'm like, I'm spotting again. It was just a cycle of spotting. And I'm like, I'm tired of spotting. I'm tired of it. It was like wearing me down mentally. You know, I'm crying. Of course, I'm hormonal. So I'm just like, But so week 6 went by. And, you know, what else? Okay, so week 7. So I was happy for week 7 because I got to go back to the hospital to get my follow-up sonogram. So I went and they took me to the ultrasound room, and I went ahead and got my ultrasound, and it was cool. Like, it was good. I saw the baby. I got to see the baby's heartbeat. Ooh, let me show you the picture. They gave me pictures. And you know, by now I've been Googling things like people having, what is it, subchronic hemorrhage or whatever it's called. And that's why they have bled. And I'm like, oh no, if I have that. So I'm telling her, make sure you look around my uterus. Make sure you don't see any spots. But, so I don't think she saw anything. But this is me at 7 weeks, 1 day. This is my little beanie baby. So yeah, this is 7 weeks, 1 day, and I was excited. So I was like, good, I got to see the heartbeat. I couldn't hear it, but I saw it on the monitor, and it was beating, fluttering so fast. And I had to, like, because I was still early, I had to like hold my breath so that the machine can pick up the heart rate of the baby. So I did it, and then when I think I held it for like 10 seconds or something like that. And they got it, and it was like 143 beats a minute. So strong heartbeat. And I was like, oh my God, great. So everything looked fine at 7 weeks. So I was like, okay, cool. Baby was growing normally. So after that, you know, my 7-week symptoms were just, I want to say, same thing. I was a little bit bloated, but it had kind of gone down a little, you know, from that. I still had the nausea a little bit. It wasn't like I couldn't eat, but it was just like a feeling, you know, like, you know, so I don't know what that was. I still had that like icky feeling of like nauseousness a little bit. But it's not anything like I can't eat. So, what else? What else did I have at 7 weeks? Just, of course, super tired. Like, I couldn't do anything. I had no motivation to get up at all. Okay, tired. I was that. I'm like, you know, like, ooh, do I need to stay at my job? I don't know, because I could barely get up. I had no energy to do anything, no motivation to do anything. This is why I'm late on these videos, because I just now start having some energy to do them. It's crazy. And my energy still is little, you know. I took everything, it's taking everything in me right now to do these videos, okay? I'm like, what? So anyways, yeah, I was super tired, no energy, still had the nauseousness, still spotting a little bit, you know. I'm like, when is this gonna end? You know, it was crazy. So that was week 7, but I felt a little better because I did do the ultrasound and everything looked fine. So I felt like everything was okay, but you know, I'm only 7 weeks, so anything can happen. I don't want to think bad, but you know, when you're spotting, it makes you think things, you know, makes you think things. So I was like, okay. So, I don't want to make this video too long. I'll probably cut it off at 7 weeks, and then I will give you guys my weeks 8 through 10. And then, yeah, you should be caught up by then. But, so, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's my 4 through 7 weeks of being pregnant. So, other than that, I think that is it. Yeah. I mean, who would have thought, you know, this was so unexpected. But I want you guys to look out for the next video of my 8 to 10 week video, so I can get you really caught up, and that should be coming up soon. So I thank you guys for watching. This is going to be a journey, and I will be updating you on everything, okay, all the way up until delivery. Pray to God that I make it that far. All right, and yeah, please tell me your guys' experiences with, if you had any spotting, bleeding, what did you have? What was the problem? What was the cause? Anything, because I need all of that stuff is like reassuring to me when I can pull from people's experiences, and I know everyone is not the same, and I know, you know, whatever she's going through, I'm not going to go through it, you know, but it is still sometimes comforting to kind of know that someone else is going through what you're going through, and you can kind of, you know, get some comfort in that. And so it does help me relax. I've watched plenty of videos on spotting and bleeding and what maybe the cause. So, but again, everything right now is looking up. So I am still praying and making sure that everything will be a-okay. But again, if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe to your girl. My name is Toya Cherie. You can also follow me on Instagram at Toya Cherie. And yeah, just follow me on my journey, guys. This is going to be a wild one. Oh my goodness. All right. Thank you guys for watching again. And hey, I will see you in my next video.